Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this session we are going to talk about present perfect tense, and this is the topic for 9th grade, chapter 6, and I'm Maryamata. First of all, we are going to talk about the uses of present, the simple present. So, we use the present perfect simple to refer to events in the past, but which connect to the present. Mostly we have events that happened in the past, but it has a connection and it's somehow connected to the present. So, the first use is experiences. We use simple perfect or present perfect to talk about experiences. We use the present perfect simple to talk about our experiences up to now. The time of the experiences is not important. Look at the example. We're going to Wagamama's for dinner tonight. I've been there a couple of times before. Now, I've been there a couple of times before. This is what? This is a past experience. We are talking about a past experience. So we do not use a specific time like this. The time is not important, or we don't know the time, exact time, but we often use expressions like ever, never, before, in my life so far up until now, with this use of present perfect. So we have to know that we use this to talk about experiences. And we do not use a specific time expression. Instead, we can use expressions like ever, never, before, in my life, so far, and up until now, and the expressions like this. The other usage is that we use present perfect to talk about recent completed events. Something or the events that happened just a little time before. Look at the definition. We use the present perfect simple to talk about a finished event or state in the very recent past or a short time before. We do not give a specific time. We do not use a specific time expressions. We often use words like just or recently. We use both of them to talk about the events that happened a very short time before. Now, what's this? What just happened? What has just happened? Okay, this apostrophe is has. Okay? So, this is now the example. The company employs around 400 staff and has recently opened an office in the UK. So, this opening of the office in the UK, this even happened a very short time before. Then we can use expression recently. Nikki and John have just come back for a week in Spain. So this was the example. You have to know that we use the present perfect to talk about recent completed events or the events that happened a very short time before. Now, the other usage is that we use present perfect to talk about past events and present result. That the things that happened in the past, but we have the result in the present. We use the present perfect simple when a single past action has a connection with the present. Look at the example. She has broken her arm in 2 places. Now, what is the result now? Her arm is still broken. Okay? So, we use this to talk about past events which has a connection or which is a sign in the present. Now we use for and since in the present perfect tense. Okay? We use present perfect simple with for and since to talk about present situation that begun at a specific point in the past and it's still going on in the present. So something that started in the past and it is still going on. It's in continuation right now. So it may go to the future. We are looking back from the present to a point in the past. So we are now in the present, but we are talking about a point in the past. So the difference between for and since is that for refers to periods of time. Okay, so a full period, we are talking about a full period, like 3 years, 4 years, ages, a long time, months, years, or 1 year or 2 years. So we use for that. Look at the example. That house on the corner has been empty for 3 years. Okay, so we just talked about what? A complete period. Okay, and when we use since, we refer to a point, a specific point, like the point which the event has started from that in the past. Look, since refers to a previous point in time. Example, last Monday, last year, 1987, yesterday. Okay, and look at the example. That house on the corner has been empty since 2006. So now 2006 is a specific point. We are talking about the point that the action or the state or the event has started from. So you have to know the difference that we use for the events, like for the full period of time. Okay, and we use since with the specific point in the past. Okay, now how long? We often use expressions with for and since to answer the question how long plus present perfect simple. We use the how long question to ask about duration of a state or activity. Okay? So we use since or for to answer the question how long. Okay? Now look at the example. How long have you worked there? Now look at the answer. Since 21st August. Okay? Or so far, about 4 months. About 4 months. Now, we use yet with the present perfect simple. We use them in question and negative mostly. In question statement or negative statements. To refer to things we intend or we have intention to do in the future, but which are not done yet. Okay? Now look at the example. Don't wash up that cup. I haven't finished my coffee yet. So I have the intention to finish the coffee. Okay, so that's why we use yet with the present perfect. Now we use already with the present perfect simple when we want to emphasize that something is done or achieved. We say that something is done or achieved often before expected time. Okay? Look at the example. I've already booked my tickets. Okay? So this booking of the tickets, it's an action that we have achieved or we have done. So it's before expected time. Still, we use so with the present perfect simple when we want to emphasize that something we expected to happen continues not to happen. We expect that to happen, but it is not happening. So we use still with the present perfect to talk about this. She still hasn't said sorry to me. So I'm expecting her to say sorry, but she's continuing not to say sorry to me. Okay? So we use what? Still for the things, or to emphasize that something we expect to happen, but it continues or it is not happening. So we use still with it. Now we know the uses of present perfect tense. Now we have to talk about the form or the structure, how to make statements or sentences with the present perfect tense. Now we'll have subject, and we will use have and has. Have for the plural subject and has for the singular subject plus past participle or the third form of the verb. Look at the example. I've tried sushi. Now I is exception. With I we always use have. Okay? I've tried sushi. Now sushi, tried is what? Try is past participle. Okay? The third form of the verb. Have, and then this is the subject. Okay? And when we want to make them negative, we use subject, have not or haven't, has not or hasn't. Haven't is the short form of have not, and hasn't is the short form of has not. Plus past participle. Okay? With the singular subject, we use hasn't, and with the plural subject, we use haven't. Look at the example now here. I is an exception, so we use have with it. I have not tried sushi. So we can also say I haven't tried sushi. I haven't tried sushi. Now when we want to make interrogative statements or questions with the present perfect tense, so we use have or has in the beginning, then the subject, and then the past participle. Have, change the places of have and subject. Have you tried sushi? Have you tried sushi? Now tried is the past participle or the third form of the verb. That was all for the present perfect tense. Thank you.